Okay, well, my name is Hal Stocker, and I've been in this business for 20 years and been in the newspapers, and probably most people know pretty much what I'm all about. And I want to thank you folks for showing up tonight. I guess I'll start with saying that I come from a medical background. I was in internal medicine at Kaiser Permanente in Oakland for 28 years. So that was my real career. I met my wife down there in the Bay Area, and after I retired, we moved to Challenge, and that's where we've been. That was actually her original area was in Challenge, and I always thought I would retire in the Bay Area. It was very attractive to me. I've been in the West and the East, all over different places, and I thought the Bay Area would be a nice place. But my wife preferred to come to the foothills and the Challenge. I'm not sorry that I did so, because I more or less fell in love with the foothills, and I'm glad that that's where I'm situated. For a long time, I served the foothills. Originally, actually, Wheeling was in the 5th District originally, and then after a few years, Wheeling was out of the mix, and it became a foothill district, entirely a foothill district, and so I served the foothill folks primarily during most of that time. And then for the last couple of years, District 10 has been added to the 5th District and Hallwood and a little bit of Linda. So that's the situation right now. We had to add that to the area because every so often the districts have to be equalized. The 5 districts need to be equalized in population. And so since there was more growth in Plymouth Lakes in the southern part of the district, the foothill district, the 5th district, had to take on more. The main 15 seconds, well, I'll just say that probably the main thing I've been concerned with affecting lifestyle is land use, and the main power of the Board of Supervisors is this power it has over land use. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and now we'll give Randy Fletcher up to 3 minutes for opening statement.
Thank you for coming this evening. Since I'm applying for a job, let me give you a little background about myself, and particularly with the camera. Locally grown and raised here in the Yuba Center area. I've spent all of my life here, other than a few years outside of the area. Graduated from Yuba City High School, graduated from Yuba College, graduated from Sac State, had a degree in law enforcement, worked for the Department of Justice, spent up to 20 years with the Yuba City Police Department in one capacity or another, whether it was a cadet, a reserve, a trainee, a patrolman, sergeant, desk sergeant, lieutenant, and actually back to a reserve again. But then I spent some time as a reserve with the Yuba County Sheriff's Department. When I left Yuba City PD, I went to work for myself as a broker, insurance broker. I've been doing that for 35 years. I've spent time on a multitude of different committees, whether it's Sierra Central Credit Union, the Economic Advisory Board, the EDC for Yuba Center. And so about 2.5 years ago, there was a Measure T that appeared, and some of you will remember Measure T. And there was a team of us that got together to defeat Measure T, which we did. As a result of that, there was a group that came together and asked me to run for supervisor in the 5th District. It was felt that we needed a change. a different leadership. We specifically needed things in the 5th district, that was geared for more water storage, better communication, jobs. The jobs are a huge issue. Additional emergency services, District 10, flood control. So that's why I'm here. The group, myself, and a large group have decided that I should be running for this position. First and foremost, I need to develop a team, build a team, design a vision, design a plan, and work that plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now we'll have our first question, and we'll start with Randy Fletcher. This one is from the audience. What is your current position on the Tiger Truck Haul Road through Hallwood?
You know, there's a solution to that. The Hallwood district, it has a tremendous traffic flow through the Hallwood area. And I've talked with a number of the residents in Hallwood, out off from Kibbe Road, and it's just a matter of sitting down and working that problem to come up with a solution. And there is a solution. Exactly what it is, I can't tell you, but I can tell you that we will resolve it.
Hal?
The so-called Kibbe Road situation, I don't really have a position on that. I'm leaving it up to the courts and the mechanism. Originally, I told the Kibbe Road folks that I was, they're my constituents, so I said I'm on their side. But that was about the extent of my involvement in the whole situation. So I'm really leaving it up to the courts and the other mechanisms. I'm not in it at all.
Randy, do you have anything further to say? Okay.
Okay, Al, we'll start with you this question. What is Yuba County not doing that could boost the number of businesses moving into the county to provide more jobs and a larger tax roll?
What, did you say that again?
What is Yuba County
What
not
does?
now doing? What is the county not doing that could boost the number of businesses moving into the county to provide more jobs and a larger tax roll?
Not doing, well, I think we're doing everything we can. We've been doing everything we can to have a favorable job situation. Yuba County goes back to forming our general plan. When the developer comes in with a new project, we'd like to have a favorable housing jobs balance. Developers will always promise us that will be done, but often it isn't. Often we're able to bring in the houses and the people, but the businesses which provide the jobs, that promise does not come about. So that's where we are in that type of situation. So people are going, they don't have, for instance, the people are going out of the county for jobs. So I think we're doing everything we can.
Okay, Randy?
My opinion, you start with business friendly. We have an issue with being business friendly. Now, a lot of this discussion comes up a lot. What would really be business friendly? And I can tell you that technology needs to be brought to the county. The fees need to be looked at. There are impact fees and non-impact fees that get charged. If we deal with those non-impact fees by reducing some of those, and in some cases eliminating them, that will bring jobs and more growth and better tax flow within the county.
Okay. Hal, do you have anything to add?
Well, yeah, that's pie in the sky. We can't do away with permits and fees. We just can't run a department. Where else are you going to get the money to run the department? But that money from permits and fees goes to pay people's salaries. We can't do what the state requires from us without doing that.
Okay, we have a two-part question that is dovetails with the one just asked. And this is from the audience. Why have the foothills lost so many small businesses during the last few years? And the second part of the question, what is the best way to promote and encourage more businesses in the foothills? Randy?
Yeah, that is the second part of the same answer. Of course, the economy is a part of that scenario. We don't make enough money in the foothills. So we need to make more money. There needs to be more businesses with more jobs. Now we're back to the fees. If we'll encourage more businesses by reducing or eliminating non-impact fees, there will be growth. It will happen. But you got to take that chance. You have to have a plan. First, you start with your group of your team, and you work in that direction. It's a planned approach for that growth. You just don't sit back and wait. You become proactive in all of this.
Hal?
Well, whether or not a business, somebody goes into business or stays in business, depends upon what that person has to offer. And are the people there to take advantage of it? About the only kind of business we have that does very well in Brownsville is the gas station and the food store there. I know there's a little TV guy too. But as someone who starts a business, there's a heck of a lot the government can do. When somebody starts a business, they just have to figure, and the big guys have to do this too. Other people there are going to support this business. Same thing happens in Marysville. Big company doesn't come in unless they're pretty sure they're going to be justified in doing so.
Randy, anything to add?
Absolutely. There's a lot that government can do. It's called business friendly. You encourage them. You solicit them. You go find them. You build teams in each of the communities that want to create a better environment. And you support that team. And that's where I would like to lead.
Okay, switch emphasis here. Hal, water rights are a huge issue as the new Bullard's Bar Dam is in the licensing process. It is very likely that the county will have a water fight on its hands during this process. What makes you the best candidate when it comes to fighting the state on water rights issues?
Fighting the state on water rights issues. No, I don't know where that question comes from. That's not part of the relicensing process. Relicensing process is set up. It's set out for the Yuba County Water Agency, and it has to do mainly with who's going to run the Colgate power operation. Who's going to get the proceeds? PG&E, originally PG&E got all the proceeds from the operation of the power plant. When that arrangement is matured, those proceeds will come to the Yuba County Water Agency. And I don't know what the water rights situation is.
Okay, Randy.
We're back to the team and strategy here that protects, develops water rights. We have a very talented team that I can see from the Yuba County Water Agency. So that's the source of the knowledge that can work on this program. And again, I'm more than pleased to be part of that team.
Al, do you have anything to add?
Nothing to
Okay, Randy, this is from the audience. Of the 40 commissions the board serves on, board members individually serve on, which are the ones that are most important for the 5th District Supervisor to be the lead person on?
You know, they're all pretty equal. I've looked at the list. Of all of those, I am more than happy to be very active on any one of them. Depends on where you're standing to say which is the most valuable. It's like trying to pick which child is the most valuable in your family. I don't know that I want to go there. What I think is extremely valuable, you need to be active on the boards. So getting involved in those boards, to me, is very high priority. And that will be at the top of the list, is getting into it.
Hal?
Commissions, well, there's commissions and committees. I've served on all of them. I've been on 20 years. I think I've served on just about every commission and committee that the county has to offer. There's nothing in particular that has to do with the 5th District. Personally, I think that my time is generally spent better going to meetings and commissions locally, and I'm on numerous, and for many years I've been on numerous commissions and boards in the area, in the 5th District, and I faithfully and religiously attend those meetings.
Randy, anything further to add?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so now, Beale Air Force Base has a payroll of $460 million, give or take.
How much?
460?
460 million?
460 million. Outside of Beale, the county's private and government payrolls amount to about 480 million. What can we do to keep Beale here and to increase missions? As you know, our reconnaissance missions are, excuse the pun, they're up in the air regarding their future.
Well, far and away, the best thing we can do for Beale is keep it here. Beale is our second most important asset in Yuba County, next to agriculture, which is our first most important asset in Yuba County. It's been said that Beale contributes to something like almost $700 billion to the surrounding area. So we've got to keep it here. And the main danger for Beale, as any military base, is development around the base. That'll kill it faster than anything else. And we all remember Yuba Highlands. We got rid of that. It wasn't easy, but we got to get rid of that. And I think we really saved Beale's. Saved Beale for Yuba County.
Okay, Randy?
We have a commission that works closely with Beale, and of course staying in close communication with them is very critical. Wherever the lobbying efforts can enhance that, certainly we should be on top of it, because it is a really important part, obviously, of our community.
Al, anything to add?
No.
Okay, Randy, one of the real hot potatoes over the past 20 years, and probably longer than that, has been the issue of residential development in the foothills. Where do you see the future of residential development in the foothills?
Over the next 20 years?
You pick it.
Well, you know, a lot of that is driven by the economy. I don't see a great deal of development. There are pockets that could happen here and there, but as far as any large development, I don't see it. Primarily, the public is not in favor of it, but I just don't see it as a risk at this point.
Al?
Well, yeah. One of my main objects over the 20 years has been trying to hold the developers at bay. I cut my teeth back in the early 90s on the Spring Valley project, which would have put 11,000, 12,000 people straddling Highway 20. But I can't take credit for killing it. Well, actually, it's still alive. but it's just sort of has stayed there and not gone anywhere for the last 20 years, but it still is alive. It still has a developer agreement, and it still has an agreement with the local water system, DBID.
Randy, anything to add?
My understanding of Spring Valley is it is pretty well dead at this point, has nowhere to go. So.
Dale?
Okay, this one's for Hal, to start. In most instances, consolidation of services, police and fire in particular, within the county, or even with other counties, would save a lot of money. Do you agree? Would consolidation be a good move?
Consolidation. Well, theoretically, yeah, consolidation would work, but I leave that up to the entities themselves. I think that there should be before you're going to consolidate fire districts or any kind of district like that, I think those folks should be the ones that are working on it and furthering the issue. Yeah, I'd be glad to stand by and look on, but I think that the local people involved in those services, some of those the fire department are volunteers, so they've got to agree to something like that, very much so.
Okay, Randy?
From the supervisor position, I am absolutely in favor of a discussion, should be on the table on a regular basis. And as Hal said, there is certainly that angle of it, that who needs to be driving this are each of those areas with their expertise. But we should be looking. I have no doubt about it. The county, a lot like private sector, it's kind of a moving target on a regular basis. You've got to look at the economy, you need to look at their issues, and we need to continually take a look at it. What's the expense? What do you gain? What do you lose?
Hal, do you have anything to add?
Okay, Randy. What are your 3 top priorities when you get into the next term, if you do? And in order of importance, how would you accomplish, especially conquering the first priority?
Very clear. Teamwork. 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 You have to build a team. If you don't have a team, you're only one vote. So you've got to come together and understand, what are you trying to accomplish? Build the vision and implement a plan. If you don't do that, you've got 5 supervisors going in multiple directions like herding cats. You can't do that. You have to build a team.
Al?
Well, the word was the 3 top what?
The question basically, what are your 3 top priorities? And tell us, especially with the first priority,
Okay.
how would you conquer that?
Okay, well, to be a little more concrete, probably my 3 top priorities is save ag land. And I've been very much into saving ag land. As I said, it's our primary, number 1, economic asset. And number 2, keep Beale Air Force Base, keep it here, keep it healthy. That's our number 2 economic asset. And then number 3 would be pretty much involvement in District 10. That would be, let's not have overpopulation, let's not have subdivisions in the foothills. For one thing, the primary thing, people don't want them. People don't want them.
Anything to add, Randy?
I see those as issues. That's not, you first build your team and then you deal with the issues.
Okay, very good, Dale.
Okay, Hal, come back to you. How do you feel the relations are between Marysville and Yuba County? Give some examples of what's working and what's not when it comes to working together for the betterment of the city and the county.
Yeah, that's a good question. The city and the county are really 2 completely different entities. we do work together in certain regards, and we also, Yuba County also works with Southern County on certain conditions, and that works out very well. And some people, in fact, a number of people even believe that part of my job has to do with what's going on in Marysville. People don't understand this dichotomy between the two jurisdictions. But pretty much for two separate entities, we're glad to help out anytime we can. But I think it's possibilities are limited.
And Randy?
Tough question. What's working? What's not working? I think it's pretty clear. What I don't know out of this position is the interaction that needs to take place from the supervisory level. After 20 years, Hal's been here, and certainly he should have a great deal of experience of making things work. I don't know that the team has been there to establish that. So all I can tell you is being a huge team player, I'm all about helping Marysville any way I can, because they are part of this county and a big part of it. But I haven't been there, so at this point I can't tell you.
Okay, Hal, what do you got?
Robert?
I want to follow up on that question, or that answer a little bit. If elected, Randy, or in Hal's case, re-elected, what is the makeup of the board? How confident are you that the board can work like a team? Is it working like a team now? And can it work like a team in the future?
Absolutely, it can work like a team. What's missing out of this is that vision. So I don't see anyone that's put the vision together of who we are, what we want to be, and where we're going. And then how are we going to implement and put it together? I don't see that happening. I haven't seen that happen. And then come the issues after that. Once you build that, it makes it a whole lot easier. Can it happen? Yes. I just have no doubt about it.
Okay. Hal?
Well, on 80 or 90% of the issues that come to the Board of Supervisors, the Board of Supervisors pretty much agrees on how it should be handled and the disposition of that particular issue. As far as I'm concerned, the real problem comes with development. And there's been a problem there all along, all down the line, and there has been a division on the way supervisors vote on development, and particularly in the foothills. Not so much elsewhere, but in the foothills there's been a division on that.
Anything further?
Time to go into all that.
Anything further, Randy?
No.
Okay, kind of led into that. Hal, start with you. Would you favor bringing back Measure T back for another countywide vote? Why or why not?
But I favor bringing back Measure T. Well, yeah, we would certainly, Yuba County would benefit by something like Measure T. I wouldn't bring it back exactly the way it was. Most people had a vast misunderstanding of Measure T, and I think a lot of that misunderstanding was intentional. The whole idea of Measure T was to give power to the people. When three supervisors voted for some project out there, then the supervisors had complete control. The only way the people could challenge that decision of the Board of Supervisors was to collect a lot of signatures and bring us up a ballot, which we had to do in Yuba Highlands. But Measure T was to give the people power. So yeah, maybe in somewhat different form, it should be back.
Okay, Randy?
Measure T was a disaster. It was poorly written, poorly conceived. It was a huge detriment to this community. I would not support it. I see nothing positive in it whatsoever. Having said that, if the Farm Bureau, through a vision with the Board of Supervisors, were to create the vision. Certainly discussion should take place. I'm not opposed to that. But in its initial phase and how it came out was nothing but a disaster.
Hal, do you have
Well, I don't agree with that at all. The sabotage job was done on ADT. If we have time, I'd like to ask my opponent specifically, be specific about it. You just can't say something fast without telling exactly what the item is. What's a disaster? You can't just condemn the whole damn thing on it. And it was completely misrepresented to the public. I have to admit they did a great job of getting out all that nonsense and all that stuff, which is not true. That's what happened.
Thank you. Start with Randy. Do you support or oppose the proposed Enterprise Ranch Rio Casino in the entertainment zone north of Wheatland, Yuba County?
I think the real question is, do I support jobs? I do support jobs. I think that's the issue. And I think they provide a great opportunity for the county. You know, I've heard discussion about the compact and what's really been said in it. I've not read it, so I can't tell you that detail of it. But the concept of jobs, I think this community needs. And I'm very supportive of that.
Hal?
What was the question again?
Do you support or oppose the proposed Enterprise Ranch Rio Casino and entertainment zone?
Yeah, well, I got it, the casino. Originally, I was against it because with the advisory vote in District 5, people were against the casino, so I went with my majority there, although there wasn't much publicity about it. But now it seems that all the wrinkles have been ironed out, and it's a done deal. From what I understand, everything important has been ironed out. It's just some details somewhere that need to be. So I'm for the casino now. It'll provide a lot of jobs.
Anything to add, Randy?
Okay, now, the county sphere of influence was set with this revised general plan. Do you feel that all new businesses and home builders should stay in the current sphere of influence, or should we extend that sphere of influence?
What's that? All should. I don't know what they're talking about, sphere of influence. Sphere of influence is a geographical thing. That's the way I understand sphere of influence. Marysville has a certain sphere of influence. I don't know what they're talking about, the spheres of influence in the general plan.
As far as the 5th district comes into this, I am much in favor of modification to what's going on right now in the county. They've opened the door to allow certain changes in zoning to take place, and that will be a great support for those businesses that want to develop, fitting the zoning without having to pay the fees, and that's taking place right now. That's the type of initiative that needs to take place within the county, and I'm very supportive of that.
Hal?
We'll start with Randy on this question. Looking at Yuba County's deficit and looking towards the future, what needs to change to erase that deficit?
There's two ways to erase the deficit. Either we cut spending or we grow. And I can tell you, if I have my option, we need to grow. And growth creates taxes, and that will eliminate it. So we need to be user-friendly. We need to come together as a team, have a plan, and attack that. And that will work our way out of that, in my opinion.
Hal?
We don't, at this point, Yuba County does not have a deficit. We had a deficit, something like 1.6 million a couple of years ago. Our deficit has been a result of a severe economic depression that hit the whole country in around 2008. And at that time, business was very bad, and we didn't have as much income to the county. But since then things have been coming up steadily, and the financial situation is doing all right. The county's financial situation is doing all right.
Okay, Randy, anything to add?
No.
Okay, now, Plymouth Lake appears to be set to grow again. What have we learned from the mini boom of the 2000s? And what can we do better?
What can we do better at Plymouth Lakes?
Correct.
Well, just let it have its natural history. Plymouth Lakes, I wasn't crazy about Plymouth Lakes when I first came in. A huge housing project down in that area. And what's it been? It's been, 20 years, I think. Not well nigh 20 years since Plymouth Lake came in, and it's only like 25% developed. So it just isn't that much demand. We have a tremendous capacity for housing, already approved housing in Yuba County, and it's going to take a number of years before that is anywhere near taken up.
Okay, Randy?
So what did we learn from Plymouth Lake? I suspect that when you put the county in debt for $400 million on the plan that the facilities will pay for it, and then they don't grow out, we need to pay close attention to that if that were to happen in the future. That do we really want to take the best agricultural land in California and put houses on it? I think those are the questions you have to focus on if it were to happen again. The plan itself is already enforced, and they're going to develop as the economy will drive it, but certainly questions that we need to ask next time around.
Hal, you think that?
Trying to find the next question I was going to ask. In your case, Randy, what is the main reasons for you wanting to run for Yuba County Board of Supervisors? I know you answered this a little bit before, but we're going to ask it again. And what is your main reason for wanting to be re-elected to the Board of Supervisors? Randy?
I did answer, but it's okay, I'll answer it again. I think that what I'm missing and have missed is the vision. I don't think it's in place. I think we have to build a team. We have to have the mission. We have to have a plan. And under that, what you'll find are issues like flood control, water, reservoirs, communication, emergency services. All of those need to be brought up, and that's where I'm headed.
Hal?
Well, I'm in this, always in this up my eyeballs. And the quality of life, and particularly in the foothills and in the 5th District. And I've always been working for that, looking maybe 10 or 20 years down the road, and I've had a lot of people that are agreeing with me. I do a lot of surveys, and I've been re-elected, 5 times. So a lot of people will agree with what I'm doing, and I think this is a particular dangerous time when things can change in a hurry. I don't have a heck of a lot more time to be in public life, but I wouldn't feel responsible to write about myself if I pulled out at this time.
Anything to add, Randy?
No.
We people are really easy on the vote. This thing is flying by. Okay. Yeah?
Okay, Hal. Every candidate wants more jobs. And a lot of times that's just another campaign slogan. We just say, we want more jobs. Do you have some firm ideas in mind that will push, that you will push and implement for more jobs.
Yeah. That's what you're right, that's what the developers say when they're putting in their project. Hey, we're going to get you more jobs. And it always falls apart. It's a hot issue. I don't know that the Board of Supervisors can do a heck of a lot about it. The main reason for the way our unemployment index went up, and then it's coming down. It's coming down pretty well. It's around 11% right now, which is good for us. But the main reason was what happened in the whole country. I don't have any secret formula for putting everybody to work. The best thing for unemployment and the general economic situation at this point is just general increase in the economy, which is taking place.
Randy?
The formula, there is a formula. It's encouragement, it's business friendly. You work with the public, you get out and help them, you support them. It isn't that the government does this, it's how the government supports the public to accomplish what it is they would like to accomplish. In the 5th District, there are a number of communities. We all know who they are. You need to go out as a supervisor and work with them. Bring those ideas back. Encourage their groups. If they want something, then I should be here to help them. If we need to modify, change zones, fees, then we need to pay attention. Government needs to pay attention. Who is this that we can't do anything? We need to do things, and it's all on the table. Use a little imagination, step outside of your comfort zone, and let's create things, make things happen.
Okay, Al?
Nothing.
This will be our final question before our 2-minute closing statements. We'll start with Randy. Do you believe supervisors should be provided health care and retirement in addition to a fair salary?
I'm not opposed to that. I'm not sure that I'll be around long enough to collect any retirement. You are a public servant, and that's part of the package. Personally, as far as the salary, there are a few things that I would modify in that scenario. I don't think the supervisors should be setting their own salary. I'd prefer seeing it turned over to a grand jury or another committee. I don't like the idea of the public position setting their own salary. It doesn't make sense to me. So there's another way to do that, to be reasonable. I can tell you I'm in favor of reducing salary until this county is in the top 5 of the state. I think that shows the effort that the supervisors, whatever they need to do to encourage the public, that's just a piece of it. So,
Al?
Well, yeah, I have no problem with that. Certainly the supervisors are not overpaid. The question about them setting their own salaries is a little bit misleading because the Board of Supervisors did not initiate any increase or change in salaries. The initiation of that item is from Human Resources, and they get the idea. If they think our supervisors are too much out of line with other supervisors in surrounding counties, then it will come in and suggest to the supervisors that they change the amount the supervisors are getting. But we never initiated.
Anything further, Randy?
no.
Okay, we'll go to our 2-minute closing statements, and we'll start with Randy Fletcher.
I think I've said this maybe once or twice tonight. It is the team effort that I'm after. I do have a vision, and I'll share that vision with the team. I need support. You can't run this county individually. It takes all of us. I've spent the last year walking, knocking, talking to people from all over the 5th District, as well as the rest of Yuba County. And what I see is they're discouraged with government. They're discouraged what they see. Part of the reason I'm here is because they were discouraged. I tend to be a lot more optimistic. I think things can happen. I'm not going to sit back and wait for it to happen. I'll encourage the public, get involved. Let's make it happen. And that's why I'm here. If I can't accomplish that, you don't need me. Then you can pick someone else. But that's where I'm coming from.
Al?
Well, as I've alluded to before, one of the main problems, if not the main problem, has been development. Development in the foothills, not so much in the other areas, but it could be a problem there as well. So, in short, I would say the system is broken. The way we go about this, the way we go about land use decisions, in particular approval of subdivisions, that system is broken. Because if you were developing, you had to develop, I'll say up in the foothills, be close to home. How would you go about how would you plan your program to get your project approved? The way you would do it, you would immediately start thinking about who's on the board of supervisors. Who can I get to go with my project? And if I get 3 supervisors, I'm home free with my project. So that's the way it works there. But what about these 2 supervisors can even be voting in the positive on a project when the people are very much against it, and we've seen this happen. So this system. And this applies to Measure T as well. This system, I guess, was established by the state, and the counties have to do it. But I would see a much better system working somewhat another way.
Well, thank you very much. Let's have a round of applause for both candidates.